Hello everyone, today we'll be discussing a divisional chart, a technique based on a divisional chart called Drekshan, and this technique is about judging the opinion, the decision of somebody, okay, of the native. For example, there are some people who are very adamant about their decisions. There are some people who very quickly arrive at decisions and stay there. There are people who are very fickle-minded. They just keep changing decisions based on the opinion of others, and they get influenced very easily by other people. But there are some people who do not get very easily influenced, and once they decide something, they do it. So, based on the astrological combinations, one can see and judge the native based on the Varga chakras, and one of the important Varga chakra that is useful in deciding this is the D3 chart. Okay, it is called Drekshan chart. The third harmonic of Rashi chart. Now there are several methods to calculate Drekshan. Overall, there have been several types, and it is not that some is wrong and some is correct. It is only that some work chakras, some schemes of work chakras have been used for a very specific purpose. Okay, for example, the D3 mentioned in Brahad Parashar Hora Shastra is called Parashar Drekshan, and it is mainly used for judging the siblings, the brothers and sisters of the native. Likewise, there is a Somnath Drekshan that is used for judging the sexual prowess of the native. Likewise, there is a Drekshan called Jaganath Drekshan, and that Jaganath Drekshan is used for judging the karma phal, okay, judging the fruits of the karma. So this is very important Drekshan chart, and today we will be discussing this Drekshan. Now, in the last video about the 22nd Drekshan and Kharesh, we discussed the role of the Khar planet, the Kharesh, in creating obstacle in one's life. There, the technique used for finding out the Drekshan Lord is based on Parashar Drekshan. Okay, but today we'll be discussing the method of judging the houses based on the new kind of scheme called the Jaganath Drekshan. This is the teaching of Sri Pandit Sanjay Rath. Okay, and you can find it in his books. It is mainly from the parampara of Sri Jagannath, that he belongs to the tradition of Sri Achyutanand, and this technique has come from him. Now here, basically, like in Parashar Drekshan, you have seen that each Rashi is divided into three parts. So 30-degree Rashi is divided into 10, 10, 10, three parts, and the first Drekshan belongs to the Rashi itself. Then the second Drekshan belongs to the 5th house, and the third Drekshan belongs to the 9th house. Okay, but that was Parashar Drekshan. But in Jagannath Drekshan, again we divide it into three houses because it is D3 chart. But the first Drekshan is always assigned to the movable sign. Okay, the movable sign in the trine, and from there the order goes. So, for example, when you divide Aries into three parts, Aries itself is a movable sign. So the first Drekshan will belong to Aries. The second Drekshan will belong to the 5th house, that is Leo. Then the third Drekshan will belong to Sagittarius. Okay, that's the 9th house. So for movable signs, it remains the same. But when we move on to the next sign, Taurus, that is fixed sign. So there, the first Drekshan will not belong to Taurus. It will belong to what is the 5th house, that is Virgo, that is again dual sign. Then the 9th house is Capricorn, that is movable sign. So it will begin from Capricorn. So the first Drekshan will belong to Capricorn, then the second will belong to Taurus, and third will belong to Virgo. And then we move on to the next sign, the dual sign Gemini. Okay, again we divide it into three parts. The first 10 degrees, the first Drekshan will not belong to Gemini because it is a dual sign. it will not belong to, it will belong to Libra, because Libra is the sign in trine with movable, which is movable. So the first Drekshan will belong to Libra, then the next will belong to the Aquarius, and third will belong to Gemini itself. Okay, so this way, when we divide the entire Rashi and we attribute each and every planet to one of the Drekshan, we come to the D3 Kundali. Okay, now this D3 chart we can use to determine the fruits of the karma. Okay, fruits of karma is very important. No matter what you do in the society or in the place where you work, all that is seen from the D10 chart. Okay, your professional relationship and how you are interacting with the society, how you are interacting with your boss, how you are interacting with your colleagues, and what all the things you are doing in society, with what intentions you are doing. All that is seen from the Samsh chart, that is D10 chart. But the fruits of your past life karma, how you are going to receive, and at what point the main karma of your life is going to manifest, all that is seen from the D3 chart. Okay, and especially this Jagannath variation, Jaganath Drekshan. Now, now the main topic of this video, that is how to determine if how is one opinionated. Okay, how is one, what is the decision making power of somebody, and what influences his decision making power. Now you see, the 10th house belongs to the decision making house. Okay, and as we see, the sign, the movable sign itself, it shows that if the decision making is happening in the movable sign, then itself the decision is not very fixed. It is itself movable. Okay, so when the 10th house lies in the movable sign, then the decision is not fixed. Okay, it is movable, it is changeable. When the 10th house comes in the fixed Rashi, then the decision is very fixed. By its own nature, it is very fixed. Okay, and when it is in the dual sign, then it is in between. Okay, it is sometimes movable, sometimes fixed, but you can say it is in between these two things. Okay, now then after judging the house in the Drekshan, one can see the planets that are over there. Okay, the planets that are there in the 10th house in the D3 chart, that will show the people, the influences that will make the decision. Okay, for example, if somebody has Venus in the 10th house, then he'll take the decision from his spouse. Okay, if so, that Karakatva you have to see. If Sun is over there, then somebody will take decision. Somebody's decision will be influenced by his father. Okay. Now, not only Karakatva, you can also see the lordship. Okay. If 7th lord of the Rashi chart is over there, then you will take the decision from the spouse. If 3rd lord is there, then you will take the decisions. Your opinions will be influenced by your brother. If moon is over there, then your decision will be influenced by your mother. If 4th house lord is over there, then it will be influenced by your mother. Okay. So likewise, you can also see the Charkarakas also. Okay. Like if Bhatrakarak is over there, then you will be influenced by the decision of your guru or of your brother. Okay. If Saturn is over there, then your decision will be, you will be very adamant by nature, because this Saturn is very slow planet. So wherever Saturn is, it will try to slow the things. Okay, so once you will not form the opinion very quickly, but once you form, it will be like fixed for several years, because Saturn is very slow planet. Also, you can employ the speed of planets to determine how quickly you arrive at a decision. So if your 10th lord is moon, then you will very quickly arrive at the opinion, at the decision. Okay. But if your 10th lord is Saturn or Rahu, like Aquarius, if you are Taurus ascendant and your 10th house is Aquarius, then the lord is Saturn Rahu. Okay. So Aquarius itself is a fixed sign. The sign lord Saturn and Rahu, if they are placed in Aquarius, then your decision will be very slow. Okay, and once you have formed it, then you have formed it for the life. Okay, you won't change. So that's why you see, if somebody is Taurus Lagna or Taurus moon sign, then he'll be very adamant. Okay, once he decides something, he'll do, and he's very opinionated also. Okay, once he has formed the opinion, then that's it. There is no looking back. Okay, so now we saw the planets occupying the 10th house, the planets lording, lord of that 10th house. Okay, now you see the planets aspecting also. The planets that are aspecting the 10th house, they will also have say on the decision. Okay, now how quickly you arrive at the decision, that is determined by the speed of the planet, that is lord of 10th house. Okay, so generally for this purpose, you can divide all the planets, all the 9 planets into 3 categories. Some are very fast, like Moon, Mercury, and Venus. Okay, so Moon, Mercury, Venus is very fast planet. So if your sign is lord by Moon, Mercury, or Venus, then you will arrive at the decision very quickly. Okay, so for example, if you are Libra, okay, your Drekshan rising is Libra, then the 10th house is Cancer. So you'll arrive very fast at something. Likewise for Mercury, if you are Sagittarius, then 10th house is Virgo. Okay, if you are Virgo, then 10th house is Gemini. So Mercury 10th house, that is also very fast decision. Likewise Venus also. Okay, then the second category is the middling planet. Okay, that is the Sun, Mars, and Jupiter. These 3 are not very fast, not very slow. Okay, so when these 3 planets are over there or lording over the sign of 10th house, then your decision will be meddling. It will not be very fast, it will not be very slow, it will be in between, which is normal. Then comes the next category, that is Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. These are very slow planets, and when they lord over the 10th house, then the decision making is very slow. Okay, so now you have seen all the speeds of various signs, based on the nature of particular sign, the fixed, movable, and dual, as well as the speed of planet. Then how you can judge somebody's decision making power. Okay. Now, let us take the example of Mahatma Gandhi's chart. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi is Libra Lagna. Also, the Jaganath Drekshan, the rising sign is Libra. Okay, and so the 10th house becomes the Cancer, and the lord of 10th house is Moon, and Moon is in Pisces with Saturn. I am reading the D3 chart. Okay, so since Moon is the 10th lord, so decision making is very fast. But Moon is with Saturn. What is that Saturn causing? Saturn is making, once the decision is formed, it is formed. He will be very adamant after that. Okay, so very quickly arriving at decision and staying there. Okay, like once he has decided that he has to fast for 1 month, then nobody can shake him. Okay, he'll be unshakable. He'll be very adamant. So anywhere you see, if the 10th lord is with Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, slow planets, then the decision will be very fast. Okay, then you see what is causing this slowness in decision. What is causing him to be so adamant? Now see, who is Saturn? Saturn is the 5th lord. 5th lord is the followers. Now, whom you see, they are followers of Mahatma Gandhi. He was the crowd mobilizer, mass mobilizer. Okay, so entire masses were following him. So looking at those masses, looking at those followers, one has to become adamant. So that was the core reason how he became adamant. Like he has to prove to the world, like what he says he does. So all those things, it forms a particular mindset. Okay, and the whole purpose of his decisions, his fasting and his non-cooperation movements, everything was for the masses, for the people of India, for the entire society. Okay. Then you can see Indira Gandhi. Okay, Indira Gandhi, in the chart of Indira Gandhi, the Drekshan rising is Pisces. Okay, and in the 10th house, Venus is over there. Jupiter is there in the third house, okay, that is in Taurus. And now you see, okay, so the Lagna Lord of D3 is in Marankarak Sthan, that is third house, okay. Also the 10th house is also lorded by the same, that is Jupiter, and that is also in Marankarak Sthan. But now you see, Venus is over there in Sagittarius, and Taurus is occupied by Jupiter. So there is a Parivartan Yoga. Okay, Jupiter is in the house of Venus and Venus is in the house of Jupiter. So there is a Parivartan Yoga happening. Okay, so you see, before that Parivartana, the 10th Lord is in Marankarak. So she will not be able to make any good decisions. Her decisions will not be of any use. Even her own self is in the Marankarak. Before that time, before that Parivartan happens, she will be kind of nobody. Okay, and you see in the chart of Indira Gandhi, that Parivartan is happening between 1962 to 1965. That is the time in the Vimshotri Dasha. You see the Jupiter Venus Dasha is happening. So during the time of Jupiter Venus Dasha, this Parivartan is happening, and in this Parivartana, Venus is acting like Jupiter and Jupiter is acting like Venus. Now you see, Jupiter is there in the 10th house. And who is Jupiter? The Lagna Lord itself. So who is making the decision? All her decisions were her own. She was not influenced by anything. And how much adamant she was? You see, Rahu and Mars in the 6th house. Rahu is aspecting Jupiter from Leo and aspecting Sagittarius. Okay, so that is one influence. Okay, then Saturn in the Lagna, it is aspecting the 10th Lord. So now you see, two slow planets, they are aspecting the 10th house, and the middling planet Jupiter is over there. Okay, so Jupiter represents the people who will be supporting her. Okay, so the people were supporting her, and she was so adamant that Rahu with Mars in the 6th house and aspecting the 10th house. So that made her kind of dictator. Okay, once she has decided that she has to do, it was her own decision to impose emergency and all. Okay, so you see like how this technique is working out so beautifully. You can apply it in any chart, in your own chart, and just see what is there in the 10th house in D3, Jaganath Drekshan. Okay, and you'll be just amazed at this technique. This works totally 100%. Okay, so that's all about it, guys. Thank you very much. Namaskar.